Hi guys, so I've decided to make a quick small video to show you where you should be at this stage, and also to check your understanding to make sure that you understand what's required of you. This is what you should have done. So this is work from our current year 10 student. So she started off with a problem design brief, target market, user profile. All this should have been done beforehand. This page is not essential. If you haven't got this done, it's fine. If you have, you get it just ensures I can give you the extra marks. So you've got the task analysis, research plan, product analysis. So research plan is what needs to be done, how you'll find this information, and what did you learn, how will this help me to make a successful product. So for example, what storage products are available. I will gather a range of ideas from existing products and interior design by looking at the structure and the model of the product. So this needs to be complete. What will you learn? Right, so it could be that from looking at existing products I will know that how the design should be like, or what parts I need to consider in my own design, what features I need to consider. So this student has then done a product analysis. So she's picked one product and written about the product, analyze it in detail. So there's 4 products here. Then you got a client interview, questionnaire, then you have site survey. So on this slide, ideally you should have pictures of items, individual items. So you could have a picture of a pencil, scissors, rubber, sharpener, a book, whatever items you want to store in your product. There should be measurements of each item. Although some of the measurements are written here, to improve this, that's what I would do, but for now I would leave this and move on. Then you've got the mood board, which helps you when it comes to design ideas. So you look at this and you think, right, okay, I could use these particular features for my designs. Then you've got research analysis. What did you learn from all this? So this here, the mood board, it helped me think about my client's likes and what he prefers. Then you got specification. The specification is a summary of all the previous slides that you've done. It kind of explains what your design must have. So once you've written a clear specification, then you move on to design ideas. So you got one design idea, feedback from the client, evaluation, and then you have a checklist of does it meet the requirements of the specification. And as you can see, if I flick through all the designs, the specification table and the format is the same. So once you've created this format, you just change the picture and change all the information. Once you have your 8 design ideas, you do a quick summary. This student is missing the tally. So a tally aligns that would say that which design is the most popular. Then you've got a conclusion. So my intention is to develop a product by merging 3 ideas. So you've got design idea 1, 3 and 5. So this student just copied and pasted them just to clarify which design ideas she's going to develop. Then you have one development idea, which is annotated in detail. The only thing that's missing, I would say, is measurements. It would be good to have measurements on this design idea, the length, width and the depth. Then I've gave feedback for that particular design, and I've shared this feedback with you because some of this applies to yourselves. So for example, measurements, give a reason for using MDF, just to get extra marks. Because I would suggest that you use plywood instead of MDF. So for your next development idea, you could say why I have chosen to use plywood instead of MDF, or why I have chosen particular wood. Right, so that's one example. Another example you have is Yasmin's coursework. Again, it's the same thing. So you have analysis. I'm just going to skip onto the development ideas. So this is the development section. You should have at least 4 or more design ideas, minimum 4, I would say. So this is development idea number 1. And as you can see, the second design idea, the only thing that's changed is the draw section. So on this one, you got an empty compartment. You've got a drawer at the bottom with a handle, T-shaped handle. On this design, you've got 2 drawers with a different handle, which is a recessed, more it's cut out from the top rather than having a handle. So the feedback that I gave the student for the handle is here. So whether you develop the handle, which can be 3D printed, or you can make on the metalwork and lathe, and design the drawer front without a handle as well. So that's this example that I was referring to. Then development idea 2, again, only this section has been changed. Only small parts of development does not mean that you change the whole design idea. It's the same design idea, you try to make it better, right? And I would go further to say what type of joints will be used. So there's a lot of information missing from this design, but even if you get to this standard, it's good enough. So what's missing would be how the feet would be attached to the base, how this section would be attached to this. Right, after that's done, your next stage would be to make a card model of your design idea. Then you do a development plan, right? All this information is also available on PowerPoint slides, so you should be at this stage. 4 development ideas should be complete in the next 2 weeks. Then after half-term break, we move on to card modeling, and then you got wood joints research, which you've already done. So the pictures you should insert, I'll try to find the pictures and upload them. You got surface finishing, some research on handles, materials. I would say this is quite detailed. I don't think you need this much detail for your materials research. You could put materials and handles research and possibly even surface finishes all on one slide. You got the final design. Give a reason why I've chosen to design different types of joints and materials. So it's like a summary of all your previous work that you've done, research that you've done. Then you've got a final design proposal that's made on SolidWorks. Production plan, how things will be merged. So what's the first step, second step, third step. And then you've got a parts list. And you've got a final isometric drawing of the actual design. And if I go down, you've got an exploded view as well. And you can see what the final design actually looks like. But for now, you should be at this section. 4 design ideas should be complete, and then we move on to card modeling. And if I go back onto Teams, all your work, all the notes are in under the Files tabs. So if you go to Files, Guided Notes, and you have all the PowerPoints that you require. So development starts from lesson number 10. Lesson 10 is you analyze the design ideas, or that's the analysis. That's the tally that I was referring to, or quantity you would call it, or frequency. You could have numbers instead of tally. So if we go back to guided notes, so you got lesson number 12, card modeling, lesson number 11, development ideas, lesson 13, production plan, materials, finishing, fittings, etc. So you've got all these lessons on development. It's more than one slide. So if you click on lesson number 11, you have another example at the bottom for development. So you can see the shape is pretty much similar. It's similar, very similar shape. The only thing that's different in this design is this pattern. This design is different to this design. This shape has changed slightly. This shape has changed slightly. So you're making small changes for development. And if you go to guided notes, I've also made a Word document to show you an example of what development is. So on this example, you've got a square shaped rod, and this is developed to a circular rod. Then it's got 3 grooves on a different material. This rod has been developed into this rod here with a bronze material with 3 grooves. Inspiration, you could say, comes from maybe Adidas, which has 3 stripes. Possibly, you can say whatever you want and justify it. So guys, I hope that clarifies what needs to be done. Thanks for watching, and please submit your work. Just remember, I do the register every week. On a Wednesday I need to do an update, give an update, and there's quite a lot of students that are not submitting their work, and they're not benefiting from the feedback that I'm giving them.